Hey everyone, Coolman1 here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Luca and why I think it's a great movie. So, um, I actually saw this movie like during the summer. I saw this movie during the summer, I think. Yeah, I saw it during the summer. And, uh, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if this was before or after my channel got hacked. I don't know, I can't remember, but I saw this during the summer. And what do I think about this movie? Oh, I know I say this a lot about the other movies that I talk about in these videos, but this was a great movie. Really, really good. And when I say good, I mean really good. In fact, it's gotta be my most favorite Disney Pixar movie so far. This movie is a masterpiece, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure most Disney Pixar fans would agree because I know a lot of people went to see this movie and really liked it. They streamed it and liked it. And I ended up falling in love with this movie because I just like everything about this. Like everything about this is just so perfect. Like the characters, the story, the plot, everything is just wow. I like how sweet and cute and fun this movie is, and everything about it is just really good. And that's what makes it my number one Pixar movie. um and this movie is so good that I ended up watching it twice. And I wouldn't be surprised if it got a sequel because it was really, really good. So, yeah, now that I talked about how much I love this movie, it's time to talk about the characters and then the plot. So, first off, we have the characters. I'm going to talk about the three main characters of this movie, which are, of course, Luca, right here in the middle, Alberto, and Julia. So, these are the three main characters, but we also have Luca's parents down here, and we have Julia's dad in the background on his boat, and yeah, we have other characters. Oh, and her cat, right on the left, right there, looking angry or something. So yeah, those are the main characters. But the main characters are Luca, Alberto, and Julia. So, now that we talked about the characters, let's talk about the plot. And the plot is really interesting. And Pixar is really the Pixar movies, the plots of Pixar movies are really interesting. But this one's the best one. So, so let me just talk about who Luca and Alberto are, because they're the main parts of this movie. So, Luca and Alberto. Okay, so okay, let's just talk about the like the plot. So, Luca is uh, Luca is half sea monster. He wants to live in well, he lives in the ocean in the water because he's a sea monster, but he wants to go see the surface. He wants to know what it's like to live in the surface. Well, I think that's how it goes. Um, so he collected some stuff that came from the surface that sunk in the ocean, I think, and and he's been wanting to go to the surface to see what it's like. So he wants to see what the surface is like, but his family won't let him because they don't know what's in the surface because they're sea monsters. So so Luca has been secretly collecting stuff from the surface. Well, he hasn't actually gone to the surface, but he's been collecting items that came from the surface that were in the ocean, that sunk in the ocean. And then his family found out, and I think it was his grandma who I think his grandma was the only one who was totally okay with with that, and she was covering for him every time he tried to lie to go to the surface. Every time he tried to lie to his parents to go to the surface, his grandma would cover for him and lie for him and let him go explore the surface. And then later on, he met Alberto right here, who is who is also like him. He's a sea monster, but the only difference between Alberto and Luca is that Alberto has actually been to the surface, and and then Alberto's like, hey, come on, let me show you the surface. It's gonna be awesome. And then Luca's trying to be like, but I'm not supposed to go. What if there's something dangerous in the surface? And Alberto's like, you'll be fine, or something like that. And yeah, so when Luca touches the surface, oh, and this is the thing about the sea monsters in this movie. When the sea monsters go to the surface, they actually turn into humans when they're in the surface, but when they're in the water, they turn back into sea monsters. That's why it's like they're half sea monster, half human, because when they're in the water, they're sea monsters, but when they're in the surface, they're humans. So yeah, that's something that's really interesting about this movie. The characters and what happens to these characters, like what their powers are. So yeah. So Alberto is just like Luca. He's a sea monster, but when Alberto goes to the surface, um Luca sees him turn into a human, and then he tries to touch the surface, and then when he sees that he's not a sea monster anymore, when Luca sees that he's a sea monster, I mean that he's a human and that he's turning into a human, he starts freaking out. He starts going, ah, what's happening to me? and and then he gets to a point where he can't walk because he doesn't know how to use his feet because he's a sea monster. He's only been swimming uh because sea monsters swim, they don't walk. So he has to learn how to walk. So Alberto teaches him how to walk because Alberto might be a sea monster just like Luca, but he's also been on the surface for a while and he's used to being in the surface. He even knows how to walk and everything. So yeah. Now he basically has a double life in the surface and in the ocean. Um so then he shows Luca around, and and then um later he shows him this fancy new um what is this, like I think it was a motorcycle or something, or a bike. I don't know, but it's called a Vespa. And and Alberto wants to get one someday. So Luca learns about the Vespa and wants to get it too. So they I think they try to look for it. They try to look for one, and then there's a new character, another character that isn't in this poster, I think. Oh wait, he is. He's really small in the background. They're all really small in the background. Um, and I forgot his name, but I know he's like the bully of this movie who messes around with who bullies Luca, Alberto, and Julia. And he has a Vespa. So they don't know that it's his. So Luca and Alberto try to get it, and then they accidentally make it fall to the ground. They accidentally tip it over to the ground, and then the bully, whose name I forgot, he starts freaking out about it, and he gets mad at them, and then that's where they meet Julia right here, who saved their lives and told them to hop on. They she told them to hop onto her bicycle and to her bike, and they drove away in her bike. Um, and they thanked her and yeah, but she didn't have time to stay with them for long because she had to get ready for a contest that she entered. Um, but um, but then they ask her if they can go to the contest with her. But what she doesn't know is that they're what they forgot. Well, they have to keep this a secret when they're in the surface. But what she doesn't know is that Luca and Alberto are secretly sea monsters. So yeah. So so she tries to teach Luca how to ride a bike because he's been in the ocean for so long he doesn't know anything about the surface. So he has to learn how to walk and ride a bike. Um, so yeah, because he's a human now, so he's got to learn how to do human stuff. So she teaches him how to ride a bike, and then yeah. But turns out the bully of the movie is also entering that contest. Despite the fact that he's too old to enter the contest, he's older than Luca, Alberto, and Julia because they're kids. But the bully, um, is also entering the contest, but he's almost an adult, I think. And yeah. So so they train a bit, and and then and then I'm just gonna skip the other parts, and I'm gonna talk about Julia's dad. So Julia's father. So Julia goes with Luca and Alberto because they're all friends now. So yeah. So she goes home, brings Luca and Alberto with her, and she says hi to her dad. And her dad is really good at fishing. So then um later in the movie they go fishing, Um, and that's the problem because her dad hunts sea monsters, but he doesn't know that Julia has friends that are secretly sea monsters, disguised as humans when they go to the surface. So so he goes with them. So they go with him to go fishing, and he teaches them how to fish. So after that, um they know how to fish and everything. And um, later in the movie, they're still preparing for the contest that Julia's entering. So they train some more. They have to eat an entire bowl of spaghetti really fast, and since Luca doesn't know how to eat spaghetti because he's been in the ocean, um, she tries to teach him how to use a fork to eat the spaghetti. And yeah, and oh, and I also forgot to mention Julia's cat, who immediately finds out that Luca and Alberto are sea monsters, but Julia and her dad don't know that until later on in the movie. Um, but their cat already knows, but since he can't talk because he's a cat, there's nothing he can say. And he also looks at them like, you guys are really strange to me. That was really funny. The cat is hilarious. Just by the way he looks and his face is just funny. um, so yeah. And then later in the movie, I'm just gonna skip to the part where Julia finds out that Alberto is a sea monster. So so Luca and Alberto have a fight. They start arguing, and you'll find out why when you watch the movie. But I'm not gonna talk about that part here because I want you guys to see that part for yourselves. um, they argue, they have a fight, and then Julia comes along and uh, and then Alberto gets mad at Luca, and he's like, you know what? You want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know who we really are? Fine. And then he reveals that he's a sea monster, and then Luca just goes along with it and basically sort of turns on Alberto and screams "Sea monster!" But that's because he wants to go to school with Julia, because he wants to go to Julia's school with her, because he wants to know more about the surface, and also they're friends now. So, and this movie made me feel like for the majority of the movie, like for a little bit, he's been hanging out with Julia more than Alberto. I mean, he's been hanging out with Alberto at the beginning, but then he's been hanging out with Julia a lot too, because she's been teaching him about stuff about the surface, like school and the stars in the sky and all that stuff. So so he pretends that he he's afraid of sea monsters, even though he's a sea monster too. So he when when Julia sees Alberto's a sea monster, Luca just goes with it and screams, "Sea monster!" And then Alberto's like, "Man, I really thought he was my friend. Why would he do this?" And then later on, he gets mad at he's mad at Luca when Luca tries to apologize to him. But in the meantime, while Alberto is mad at Luca, Luca tries to spend more time to he tries to spend more time with Julia to learn more about the surface. And yeah, and then later on, Luca tries to apologize to Alberto, but he's still mad at him. So he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you some alone time, but just know that I'm sorry." So yeah, and then um, and then a while later, after Julia find out that after Julia finds out that Alberto's a sea monster, she finds out that Luca is a sea monster too. She wants to be friends with him. She wants to be friends with both of them, but she's afraid that someone might find out that they're sea monsters and try to kill them or kick them out because they're sea monsters. So yeah, and and then later on, um, she she tells him to leave because the world isn't supposed to know that there are sea monsters in the surface, even though they're disguised as humans. So yeah, but then later on, Luca decides to join Julia in the contest anyways. Even though he's a sea monster, he decides to join Julia in the contest anyway, and they do a lot of stuff like swimming and eating spaghetti really fast and riding bikes. Those are all the activities that they do in the contest. And to swim, instead of wearing swimming suits, he has to wear like a diving suit or something. So the water doesn't touch his skin, so he doesn't turn into a sea monster while he's in the water. um, so yeah, and yeah, they do all the activities, and then the bully of the movie tries to cheat, and he just keeps teasing Luca and Julia, and then they're riding bikes, and then the bully tries to make Julia fall from her bike, and then Luca tries to help her up, but then it starts raining, and and then that's the problem, because when they touch water, they turn into sea monsters. So Luca turns into a sea monster, and then the entire everyone in the surface finds out, and and then Alberto comes along, and well, Julia's fine with it, but then everyone else is like, sea monster, get them out of here. um but then Julia's dad, who hunts sea monsters, he he was going to hunt them down. He was going to hunt them. He was going to kill them, but then he didn't because well, he thought that sea monsters were dangerous because sea monsters. But Luca and Alberto were actually really nice. So he was like, you know what? I can't do anything because Luca and Alberto are they might be sea monsters, but they know how to act like humans when they're in the surface, and they're not dangerous or anything. They're harmless. They're normal. So yeah, he doesn't hurt them. And then the bullies are the ones who the bully is the one who tries to hurt Luca and Alberto after everyone finds out that they're sea monsters. um, but they didn't get away with it. They didn't end up hurting them. So yeah. Oh, and also, Luca's parents also went to the surface to look for Luca after they found out that he's missing, because he secretly went to the surface. Um, so yeah, but then they find when they go to the surface to look for him, they find out that he's that um he's already having fun in the surface, like he's riding bikes and playing with Alberto and Julia and all that. But then by the end of the movie, they're okay with it. They're like, well, if you like being in the surface, I guess it's not that bad. I guess I can let you stay in the surface. Um, but um, um, but then she's like, "You have to promise me that you'll come to the ocean every once in a while to see me. Um, but if you want, you can stay in the surface anytime you like." So yeah, good ending. And then Luca signs up to go to school with Julia, and he wanted Alberto to come too, but Alberto couldn't sign up, but instead he was going fishing with Julia's father. So yeah, Julia's father is okay with being with Luca and Alberto, even though they're sea monsters. In fact, now sea monsters and humans live in peace in the surface. So it's all normal now. So yeah. So overall, this movie had a really good ending, and I love this movie so much. It's my most favorite Disney Pixar movie now. Well, it's my most favorite Disney Pixar movie so far. And if this movie gets a sequel, sign me up. I'm definitely going to see that sequel because this movie was really, really good. So yeah, um, that's Luca and why I think it's a great movie. Um, oh, and also later today I might post a video about another movie that I watched in the summer. Um, another movie that I watched during the summer besides Luca. And if you watch my channel, you probably know what it is. It's about a certain cartoon with a certain basketball player. I basically just gave it away there, but whatever. You guys know what it is, and I'm gonna be making a review on it later today. I might. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all for this video, and as always, stay cool.